Well. It's been at least an hour, maybe close to an hour, and I am still shocked. I am still utterly shocked. I'm speechless. And I have a job where I have to talk to you guys for at least the next 30 minutes or so, and I quite honestly don't know what to say. The Baltimore Ravens trade a first-round pick in 2026 and the first-round pick in 2027 for Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby is officially as you can get before the start of the new year. Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have been trying since the loss to Terrell Suggs to find someone to plug in and get a premier pass rusher, a guy who teams have the game plan for on a consistent basis, on a game-by-game basis, on a play-by-play basis. The Ravens got it. Maxx Crosby. I am dumbfounded, speechless. And we're going to get in the weeds a little bit about what this means for the Ravens, as well as what went down to get us to this point. We have a little bit of tidbits. We don't know the full story yet. It is Friday. We know the Ravens don't really like to work late, which is another crazy reason that I'm surprised that this guy's done. The Ravens don't typically like to work on these type of things after 5 o'clock on Friday, but Eric Costa, hand claps to him. Kudos to this guy for getting the job done, doing what he has to do. You guys are saying it's way too loud. I'm going to back it up a little bit then. Hold on, give me a second here. Make sure I get this right. Too loud, you say. How about now? That's how you know things are going crazy. I'm over here. There you go. Better. Much better. Okay. Well, let's start over from the top. I'm shocked, speechless, flabbergasted. As you can tell, this is a crazy day in the NFL, crazy day for Ravens fans. I know you guys are as hyped as I am. I am, again, going to try my best to give you guys as much information as I can on what went down, how did we get to this point, kind of the things that we've been hearing prior to this going down. But again, the Ravens have been trying for the longest to get somebody to replace Terrell Suggs. Teams have been trying their best to find pass rushers. So the price was going to be steep. 2 first-rounders, 2026 first-rounder, 2027 first-rounder. That's the price of doing business to get these premier talents. Sauce Gardner was given up for 2 first-rounders. Quentin Williams was given up for a first and a second and an additional player. So that pretty much equates to 2 first-round picks. That's the price of doing business. And Ravens fans are not going to cry themselves tears because of losing those 2 first-rounders, because they know the Super Bowl window is only going to be open for so long. Lamar Jackson been in this league since 2018. It's now 2026. Only 1 conference championship game to speak of in a losing effort in 2023. We got to get this thing going, the front office said. And now the Ravens have themselves Maxx Crosby. Steve asked, did Micah Parsons? Then they had to go 2 first-rounders for Micah Parsons. Yes, 2 first-rounders and a premier interior lineman as well. The Packers had to give up. So, of course, Parsons is 25. Maxx Crosby is 29. There's going to be a little bit more you have to give up for him. Regardless, this is huge. The Ravens haven't given them a first-round pick outright since they traded for Kyle Bowler. And that left a poor taste in the mouth of Ozzie Newsome. The Ravens haven't done business like that since. Look at where we are now. The Ravens having themselves a guy by the name of Maxx Crosby. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Ravens. First of all, Lamar Jackson is getting extended. I think this is pretty much telling the Ravens want to give up 2 first-rounders if they knew that in 2027, it will be likely Lamar Jackson's last year as a Raven. Lamar Jackson's a Raven for the foreseeable future. So this signing tells me that Lamar Jackson is coming back. So it's a twofer. I wouldn't be surprised if an announcement was made tomorrow that Lamar Jackson hasn't agreed to an extension. Maxx Crosby comes in. He has a high cap number for now, but once he comes in, the Ravens can restructure that deal to alleviate some cap pressure. I think the cap number after it's all said and done, reports are saying maybe $7 million. Right now it's about 30. So you have to acquire a player. To do that, you need the cap space. The Ravens are about 9 million, 10 million right now in cap space. After you sign those restricted free agents, when the new year starts, you need to open up some cap space. So Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is coming back as well. That's what that tells me. Huge, 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 huge. I don't know. I can't even stress enough how big this is. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this, because I wanted you guys to understand the thought process. This all started, in my opinion, when the Bears traded for DJ Moore. When the Bears traded away DJ Moore for a second-round pick and some. The writing was on the wall for me then, because what did that tell you? DJ Moore, a talented receiver, not highly sought after, as opposed to a guy like A.J. Brown. So what did it tell me? The price for A.J. Brown goes up. Now you're talking maybe a first and a third. We're hearing that the Patriots offered the Eagles a first-round pick and a third-round pick. The Eagles said no, absolutely not, which means they want more for A.J. Brown. Now, if you're thinking, okay, well, we're going to spend the first and the third on a player like A.J. Brown, well, we might as well go after a guy who's going to make an impact on defense as well. Somebody who has a more difficult skill set to seek after in the pass rush. So Maxx Crosby immediately became a target, in my opinion. Now, I think the Ravens have been trying to get Maxx Crosby for quite some time, and we're nearing closer to the Monday deadline, in my opinion, for the Raiders, because, again, after that, they owe Maxx Crosby a little bit of money. After that, the cap space is hit. People are trying to be aggressive. If you're not trying to make a deal with me, I need to find a way to get a pass rusher in here to help my team. That's what these other teams are looking at, like the Cowboys and the Bills and things of that nature. So the writing was on the wall that the Raiders needed to make a move before Monday. I put that on social media that a decision would be made before Monday on Maxx Crosby, and who knew how right I was. The Ravens did not want to give up 2 first rounds at first. The negotiation was going, I'm sure, and a first-round pick was on the table. But for 2 first-round picks to be the prize, you have to think about what the mindset of the Ravens is. Again, we talked about the first mindset. Lamar Jackson having to be a Raven long-term. Get that extension done. Are we confident Lamar Jackson is going to be here for the long haul? Because if not, those first-round picks becomes crucial for acquiring another passer in 2027. Because, again, if you guys watched my show earlier today with Brian McFarland, we talked about it. 2027, if the deal's not done, you got to think about trading Lamar Jackson to get some sort of asset, and to have another first rounder already in 2027 will help you climb up the draft and possibly get a guy like Arch Manning. I mean, we're thinking far ahead, 12 months from now, but this is what you got to do when you're trading picks in the future. So in my opinion, again, Lamar Jackson extension is going to get done because you're giving up 2 first rounders, and that asset you're also giving away. The opportunity to draft a premier passer in 2027. Also, that tells you the cap space needs to be done in order to bring in a guy like Maxx Crosby, further alluding to the fact that an extension is going to get done. That's great. That tells me that the Ravens are all in. We knew Eric DeCosta was going to be fierce. You got on the podcast and talked about we're not really big spenders in free agency. Could have fooled me. You made the biggest move in the history of the franchise. The Ravens have never given up this type of haul for a player ever. Austin Newsome hasn't come close to giving up some packages for this guy. Terrell Owens was probably the biggest asset that they got, and they didn't give up 2 firsts for him, let alone 1. So this is a huge moment for not only the Ravens fans out there, but also for the franchise. You're giving up quality assets. The Ravens hit on first-round picks. The last first rounder they didn't hit on was Matt Elam. I mean, they're hitting on Tyler Linderbaum, who's going to be the most sought-after center in the history of the game, going to be the highest-paid center in the history of the game. Kyle Hamilton. They've got guys, Lamar Jackson, and they've missed on some like Hayden Hurst. And, so the first round pick is a gamble. You got a sure thing in Maxx Crosby. No one's going to sit here and tell me that Maxx Crosby isn't a top 5, top 10 pass rusher in this league. And now he goes to a defense where you cannot You cannot focus on just Maxx Crosby like you did in Las Vegas. You got Kyle Hamilton. You got Roquan Smith. Madubuike most likely may be coming back. We don't know for sure. Looked pretty good in that workout video we saw on Instagram a few minutes ago. So Madubuike coming back. Mike Green, a second year with Jesse Minter and this new defensive coordinator, this defensive staff. So you got Mike Green on one side, Madubuike in the middle with Travis Jones, and you got Maxx Crosby in the middle. That looks like a Super Bowl championship defense right there. That front four screams defensive championship to me. And we saw the last 2 Super Bowls were won on defense. So if you think Maxx Crosby looked good in Las Vegas, think about how he's going to look in Baltimore, where you're not just having to deal with one guy. You want to key in, double team Maxx Crosby, Mike Green will make you pay. Travis Jones will make you pay. Kyle Hamilton will make you pay. Roquan Smith will make you pay. Teddy Buchanan will make you pay. Trenton Simpson will make you pay. So this is huge on all fronts. And what a gift for Jesse Minter to go from who knows who my pass rusher is to, hey, we could have Madubuike back. We can have Maxx Crosby wreaking havoc. And oh, yeah, by the way, Lamar Jackson, the best quarterback in football, most likely is going to sign the deal. Now, you also on social media, his boom gif earlier today. Could that be related to the Maxx Crosby trade or the extension? I think they go hand in hand. I really do. Now, I don't have anything concrete on that. I'll be quite honest with you. I've been asking. I've been searching. They've been quiet. I don't know if they've been quiet because they've been working on this deal or they're quiet because they don't want to give up too much information. But the writing on the wall is clear as day. Now, let's move on to other things. Are the Ravens done? Hell no. They're not done. A lot of people are asking, does this mean they're out on A.J. Brown? Probably not. Probably not. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me put my conspiracy, thing together. The Ravens still want A.J. Brown. Let's just put it out there. The Ravens still want A.J. Brown. Are they one of the top teams that are actively pursuing him right now? No. But the asking price of a first rounder and a third rounder for A.J. Brown is steep. Too steep. Too steep, in my opinion. Now, if the Eagles don't get something going with the Patriots by the end of Sunday, by Monday, the Patriots are going to pivot to a guy by the name of Alec Pierce. I think the Patriots are going to try and get themselves a receiver, but they don't need to give up their future for a receiver who may or may not pan out. They're going to pivot to another receiver. The price is going to go down. Now we're talking maybe not the first and the third, maybe a second and the fourth. And that will be a boom for the Ravens. Maybe it's a second in Rashad Bateman. Maybe it's a third in Rashad Bateman. The price is too steep for A.J. Brown is where I'm getting at. The Eagles don't have to trade him right now. They don't have to trade him. I've always said that this A.J. Brown situation could be a post-June 1 move. The cap relief is much more manageable if the Eagles trade A.J. Brown after June 1st. Now, the Eagles can have something in place with the Patriots or whoever they go with, the Chargers, whoever they decide that, okay, we agree to trade him after June 1st, but we need those picks now. We need those 2026 picks now. That's a hefty price to pay if you're on the opposite side of the negotiation table. So I think that A.J. Brown is still in the cards. Not just him, Brian Thomas Jr., a guy in Jacksonville. I love Brian Thomas Jr. He's a guy may not require more than a second or a third round pick to acquire. Maybe you go to the draft. Maybe you see somebody in the draft that you really like in the mid rounds. Lots of depth over there. I know a lot of Ravens fans don't want the Ravens to swing on a receiver. They've done so many times in the past and haven't really hit the jackpot they're looking for. But the Ravens are not done yet. The offensive line still needs work. There's lots of offensive linemen available via free agency. Everybody wants the Ravens to get this huge offensive line that's going to be an all-pro player for years to come. And I get that. But what the Ravens really need is someone that wasn't Daniel Faalele. I mean, let's be real. You don't need to have studs on all 5 position groups. Then the Ravens are a Pro Bowl team. a juggernaut. You don't really need that. Would it be nice? Great. You just need an average guy. Now, does that go for average to above average with the loss of Tyler Linderbaum, which I think is actually going to happen? I don't think you can keep Maxx Crosby and Linderbaum. I think Linderbaum is gone as well. But you don't need a stud among studs, a Hall of Famer at guard here for them to make something happen. So are the Ravens done? No, the Ravens still have 10 draft picks in 2026. I still think that's too many. I still think that's too many draft picks to deal with. So I think that the Ravens are still got work to do. Are they going to trade another asset? Possibly. Will it be the caliber of a Maxx Crosby? Probably not. I think that's a once in a generation type of trade that we just witnessed here. So I think it's fantastic. Let's look at the comments here. Lots and lots of comments. I appreciate it. Chris Arco made one. Mike Evans will work instead of AJ Brown. I would love Mike Evans to stay a Buck as a football purist. I think it'll be nice for him to finish his career in Tampa Bay. Very similar to how I felt about Ray Lewis leaving. But hey, you don't need to spend draft capital. There's receivers out there. Mike Evans fits the bill, a big body next receiver. And hey, and I know this people aren't going to like this, and I'm going to talk about this on my show next week. Rashad Bateman's not bad. This offense is going to turn into an offense predicated on timing. I think Declan Doyle has made that very clear. Something Lamar Jackson hasn't had a chance to do really since his days in Louisville. This is going to be a timing-based offense. And that is where Rashad Bateman shines the most because he gains separation. He gains separation better than anybody. He runs routes better than 90% of the receivers in this league. So, worst case scenario, you still got Rashad Bateman out there. You bring back a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, and I think your receiver group is fine. It's not top tier, but do you need it to be a top 3 receiver threat? Do you need to be the Bengals to win a championship? Bengals haven't won a championship. I'm just saying. I don't know. I think the Ravens need to get a receiver, but I think pass rush was way more important. Now, let's talk about the reason why the Ravens made these trades because I don't want to take up too much more of your time. The Ravens made this trade for the 2026 first round pick, in my opinion, because they didn't really fall in love with anybody in the combine. They may have been guys that they liked, that, he could be a good fit, but nobody that truly stood out as wow, he's the guy. Ruben Bain was a guy who a lot of people were enamored with. He has short arms. I know people are saying, he could play football. History says otherwise. And even if Ruben Bain were to drop, I'm not sure he drops below 14. I think somebody climbs up ahead of the Ravens and takes him. You got Vega, the offensive guard that a lot of people are linking him to. He's only in the top 15 because the Ravens are in dire need of a guard. I think there's a chance he falls down to the 20s. Maybe not too much further than the 20s, but there's some quality interior offensive linemen in this draft. If the Ravens saw a guy that they had to have that crept down into the first round, the Ravens are picking 14th in the second round. They have assets in the draft that they can use to trade back up into the first and grab a guy. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the Ravens are picking in the first round in this 2026 draft. And let's talk about 2027. We all assume the Ravens are going to be in the postseason in 2027. That first round pick is really a second round pick, if we're being quite honest. If the Ravens do what they need to do this year, that first round pick is really a second round pick. And there is some incentive to having a first round pick that low in the draft in the first round because you get that 5th-year option that Tyler Linderbaum got, that Zay Flowers got. So there is incentive to want to get that 5th year on the first round pick. But I'm telling you, the Ravens are playing this smart. I like the way they did this. Those 2 first round picks sounds piercing to the soul because of, again, our history with draft picks, our success we've had drafting players, but there was an immediate need at pass rush that I'm not sure they would have got anywhere else. You're paying Maxx Crosby money for a guy like Odafe Oweh, who we just traded away. You're paying Maxx Crosby money for a guy like Jalen Phillips, who was just traded recently to begin with to the Eagles. Just doesn't seem like the Ravens are willing to do that. The Ravens are going to be bidding with other teams for pass rushers at a premium. Put up those 2 first rounders. Make a statement to the league that, hey, we're coming. And now teams like the Bills, teams like the Bengals, they're pissed. Teams like the Chiefs, they're pissed today. I promise you. Don't let a Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs fan look you in the face and say that they're okay with what happened. Oh, Lamar Jackson is going to have to put up numbers. I've gotten texts. Oh, well, Lamar's put up a shut up. It's put up a shut up for you guys, too. Chiefs didn't make the postseason this year. Freaking Josh Allen did a spin and Rooney interception on primetime television, unwarranted, to close out the half. They pretty much lost in the game. And the Bengals are the Bengals. Sorry to say. They're still the Bengals. Now, I do think the Bengals are going to make some noise this free agency period. They'll need to. And if they're able to accomplish what I think they're able to accomplish, as well as keep T. Higgins, it could be a threat. But you gotta know. No one's happier right now than the Ravens. And those teams I mentioned are pissed. But good move for the Raiders as well. I think the Raiders did a really good job making this trade. Very much good business for them as they rebuild. Tom Brady's and company are going to rebuild, man, and get things going. But yeah, really good for them. And I'm hyped. I mean, I'm so excited for this Ravens team and seeing what this front office is able to do. That second round pick they got could be a first round steal. The Ravens do a very good job. I know a lot of people are very out for some reason anti-Eric DeCosta, but he hits more than he misses. I think the knock on Eric DeCosta, and he deserves this knock, is that he failed to build the trenches last year, and we all knew they had to do so. But as far as picking guys to be on this football team, is there a better GM? I'm not sure. Chris says, really good DL in this draft too. Yep. Interior defensive line, interior offensive line. Lots and lots of talent here to work with. It is not a problem for the Ravens to pick up guys in these second and third days that can contribute right away. Let's go on to Instagram. I've seen a lot of people. What about Trey Hendrickson? Hendrickson's gone. He's not going to be a possibility. I think I saw somebody say, ooh, can you imagine Trey Hendrickson and Maxx Crosby? This is Madden. This is real life. There's no way the Ravens are going to put that much money into the position when they already got a guy like Mike Green waiting in the wings, and they can bring back guys like Kyle Van Noy now on a cheaper deal, veteran deal. We know he can rush the passer. Obviously, he's not really good at setting the edge or going into coverage on a consistent basis, but when it comes to being a pass rush specialist, Kyle Van Noy is very good. He had 10 sacks, plus sacks last couple of years ago, and then this past season he regressed because everybody regressed. I think he can come in and put up 5 sacks and be a guy. So I think that you don't really need to spin the wheel on a guy more so than you already got with Maxx Crosby. He's been pretty fantastic. Let's see some other comments here. We're taking it all. Yo, what's it, man? Beaks, Green, and Crosby is going to be crazy, bro. Yeah, if Matty Beaker comes back, again, this has not been confirmed. There's been lots and lots of conversation about Matty Beaker returning, and my boy Bobby over there at the Ravens Collective and the Vault with Sarah Ellison. Shout outs to him. I stand by his journalism. I know he's not really known for journalism, but if he says that Matty Beaker is going to give it a roll and not seek retirement, then I trust him. I don't think Bobby will put that out there if he wasn't, getting good sources on that. So, yeah, Mike Green, Matty Beaker, Crosby, we're in business. Z, my guy, we did it. Yes, we did. I give Kevin and Q all the credit for making this happen. Yeah, Kevin, the GM. I mean, we thought that Jalen Waddle next is Kevin. Jalen Waddle could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Ravens aren't done. This isn't a thing where you can just say, we got Maxx Crosby, no more making things happen. The Ravens are active in their pursuit to right the wrong. You think Steve Bisciotti was happy about what he saw this past season? I'm telling you guys, there was nobody more upset about what went down than Steve Bisciotti. Without giving too much away, Steve Bisciotti was not happy. That Giants game, not the Giants game, the Patriots game, Steve Bisciotti was not happy about that at all. The writing was on the wall since then. And I'll put it like that. I mean, so I'm sure Steve Bisciotti is happy. Hopefully this works out for him. Zach says, not sure if you talked about this, but what player do you think the Maxx Crosby move benefits the most on defense? Kyle Hamilton and Mike Green. I think Kyle Hamilton was a pass rusher the latter part of the season. I mean, he was just strictly a pass rusher. There really wasn't an element of surprise when it came to Kyle Hamilton. I think now they could be a little bit more elusive in their designing of defensive plays if Kyle Hamilton approaches the line of scrimmage, it's not a guarantee he's going to blitz. He may not even blitz much at all with Maxx Crosby out there. Maybe he have him on one side, pair him up with Mike Green, or pair him with Maxx Crosby on the edge. Really have you guys thinking it. Plenty of possibilities, and I think Mike Green definitely benefits the most. I think even without Maxx Crosby, Mike Green was going to have a great year here, depending on how much he puts into building his strength up, building his speed up in the National Football League, something that a lot of second-year pass rushers tend to do. But, man, this is a boom for the pass rush. Everybody's going to eat because of this. Everybody's going to eat. 2006 Ravens defense, 2010 Ravens defense. Those are the things I think of when I think about Maxx Crosby coming in here. Can we fire Kevin in here? No, that's my guy. Kevin might get us Calais. You never know. You said they weren't done yet. Can you give us anything on that? And who do you have us taking in the second? Zion Young was very much considered the option in the second round. I think they're going to go interior O-line in some way, shape, or form in that second pick. But as best player available, you never know what will happen with there. As far as they're not being done yet, yeah, they're not done yet. They need to figure out this interior offensive line. They have holes at both center and right guard, and they need to get another body in there at left guard. They need to get an interior defensive lineman. They probably want to look at another corner, another safety. All of those things you cannot do strictly on the draft, even though they have 10 picks. You're asking a lot. So they're going to be doing their due diligence. They're going to go to work. Could it be another trade in the horizon? I think so. If I'm being quite honest, I think there's going to be another trade. Not to the standard of a wow factor, but I think that the Ravens are not done yet. And A.J. Brown, they're going to tell you that he's no longer in the picture. I'm telling you, if he's not traded by Monday, don't count out an A.J. Brown trade to the Ravens. I just wouldn't do that. I don't think it would behoove you to totally count out the Ravens from doing so, because that price would drop, especially if the Patriots move on, because the Patriots were the team. I kept hearing the Patriots in regards to A.J. Brown. But if they pivot away after being turned down from a first and a third round pick, which is crazy, Eagles may wait it out until training camp. And then once it's obvious that A.J. Brown isn't happy, team steps up with the second round pick. Boom. You got yourself A.J. Brown. So, again, I'm not putting anything out there saying this is a sure thing, but I wouldn't count the Ravens out from the A.J. Brown sweepstakes just yet either. Do I think Emory Jones can compete? Yeah. I mean, I think he can. Why not? This is a guy who showed flashes. I mean, are there things to his game that need to be proven upon? Yeah, but he's a rookie. Same with Mike Green. I think if given the opportunity, if he played a full 17 games, he would have got a better picture with what Emory Jones can do. And that is on John Harbaugh. Point blank, period. And some of that may be, Emory Jones was injured for a little bit, but as soon as he was healthy, I would have put him out there. But we don't have to deal with that anymore. Let's see. Steve says, what's the next move? Under the cap, we know Lamar's transition is getting done after that. Is the Linderbaum deal in the works? Linderbaum's still possible. I just find it unlikely. Again, if there was any shot that the Ravens were going to give up $23 million a year for Linderbaum, I think that's out the window now. Maybe $21 million. And the Ravens say, you know what, let's get it done. Again, this Maxx Crosby deal will give the Ravens an opportunity to, it won't impact the cap too much. This extension won't impact the cap too much. Of course, they'll need to make some restructuring with Roquan Smith and maybe a pay cut for Marlon Humphrey to knock that down. I think Broderick Washington is going to get released as well. Never know, but Lindy seems less likely. I can't see Lindy and Maxx Crosby getting those numbers, but we'll see. Chris says, can we still work in free agency with Crosby's money not converting to the 12th? Can you convert it before? You can't convert it before the 11th, but there's no reason why the Ravens can't, agree to something and then fix the contract once it's done. So I still it won't impede them from making any moves. I like the kid out of Oregon who's an O-lineman. Man, we could draft with our second round pick, maybe. Could happen. So back Sports Bears fan here. Congratulations on Crosby. Y'all going to be a problem. Yeah, so back. I appreciate you. I thought the Bears were a possibility. I kept hearing less and less about the Bears as the day went on. because I think the Bears are trying to move, but the Bears are in a different position than the Ravens. The Bears, I don't see them trading 2 first rounders. Same with the Cowboys. A story came out that the Cowboys weren't willing to give up 2 first rounders either, and I don't blame them. I mean, those teams aren't a player away. The Ravens were. So that's why you do it. Mitchell truly looking like a stud. Yes, I think so too. He's looking like a stud. We'll see what happens with him. Cody Rhodes is WWE champion. Oh, man. I mean, we saw that coming, but I know this is the football podcast, but come on. Cody Rhodes, why are they continuing to do my boy Drew McIntyre like that? He has carried that belt and carried feuds for weeks. But, shout out to Cody Rhodes. It looks like it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I'm not going to that WrestleMania if it's that. Add Drew McIntyre in there. Maybe I consider spending some money to go to the show. But, yeah, Cody champ. Congrats to Cody. Yuck. All right, let's look at some more before we get out of here. Lots of comments here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We have 9 picks left. I think we have 10 picks. And it's not official with the comp picks yet, but they're looking like they were going to have 11 before this trade. They give up that first rounder, so they got 10 now. Do you think Ben Cleveland will stay and actually play since he's not in the doghouse anymore? I think Ben Cleveland signed with the Chargers, I think, or someone. Ben Cleveland's no longer a Raven, so he's out. Could he come back? Maybe. I mean, he's not in the doghouse because John Harbaugh's not there to put him in the doghouse. But maybe if he's a glutton for punishment, he goes to New York and does that all over again. This Crosby deal can be less impactful if he can't sign Towel in the bomb. I don't 100% agree with that, but technically you're right. Yeah. I mean, having both of those guys would be fantastic. I just don't see it happening. I think he's going to be highly sought after. $25 million, not happening, but I could see 23, 22 and a half, maybe 22. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say 22. If a team is crazy enough, 23, but 25, no way. But I don't think the Ravens can go higher than 21 or 22 with this deal. And I don't expect the Ravens to do even over 21 at this point. But that's just me. How many years will Maxx Crosby be with us? And do we have to pay him? Yes, he is under contract currently. He's 29 years old, so I think he has one more payday in him. If I have to, I'll look up his contract, but I think he has 3 years remaining on his deal. Let's see. Maxx Crosby had a 3-year deal in 2026. So he has a contract through 2029. So we have 3 years left with the boy. Hopefully he gets the Ravens a ring. He deserves it. He deserves to be fighting for something. What about getting a guy like Stephon Diggs? There's literally no way in God's green earth that the Ravens are signing Stephon Diggs. I'm just going to keep it a bean. Unless he takes a very team-friendly deal. There's just no way. There's just no way. There's just no way. So that's that. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Do we pivot to McGovern and Linderbaum leaves? I think McGovern's going to get sought after as well. I think he might be the second or third best center available in this free agency period. If Linderbaum sets the market at 22 or 23, I don't think he takes less than 20. He's that good of a center. Is he as good as Linderbaum? No, he's not. But I think this free agency period, people are going to be looking for guys at offensive line. Everyone needs offensive linemen. It's critical now, especially as these defenses get more souped up with pass rushers, a la the Ravens, a la the Seahawks, a la the Broncos. Heather says, I'm so excited. Man, I can't believe it. I'm sure Eric DeCosta is happy, but I'm sure he's also losing sleep on the opportunity to draft somebody in the first round. But again, the Ravens have the assets to trade back up to the first round and get a guy if they want to. They've done it once with Lamar Jackson. They traded back in the first round to get Lamar Jackson. They'll do it again if they see a guy they really like in the first round. Also, that's that 33rd pick, the first pick in the second round. The Ravens could use some draft capital to trade up and grab a guy there. So exciting times in Baltimore for sure. I'd rather have D-Hop, says Z. I think so too. I'd rather have D-Hop than Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has some off the field issues that the Ravens just don't need right now. They need to focus on getting that championship. Shut Up Hour only cost $7 million. And just as Henry is very productive, he can be with us for several years. Looking for the negative, but was running before the. Always looking for the negative, but was running before that. I don't know if he's talking to me or someone else, but I'm very excited about this this trade. So Linderbaum snapped the ball over Lamar's head in the playoffs. I keep seeing that. I think Steve always saying that, by the way. Yeah, he's done that a couple of times, but yeah, I think that he's gonna get his money. He deserves it. He deserves it. But man, to go from 18 million to 23 million, that jump when you're not even, he's not Creed Humphrey. I think I did the math. I think someone did the math, and they saw that if Creed Humphrey was getting a contract now, his 18 million a year contract probably equates to about 21.5 million. So that's the range I could see the best center getting. And then you think that Tyler Linderbaum, top 5, top 3 center, we get around there. But again, it's all about supply and demand. Creed Humphrey's unavailable. How do I get the second best center or third best center on my football team? You paying money. These teams like the Raiders have all the draft space, all the cap space in the world to make it happen. He's going to get someone. He's going to get some money. I don't know where, but he's going to get some money. Oh, you weren't talking to me. Okay, cool. Smart coming. All right, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. Chargers made a sneaky deal today as well. Yes, they did. I like the Chargers this year. Heather says that Bet BK will be back. If I had to guess, I'd say yes. There's some, I can't say much because I don't know much. I don't really like talking about things I'm not comfortable or knowing about, but there's reasons to believe he'll be back. There's also reasons to believe he may not be back. Until I hear it from the horse's mouth, I'll reserve judgment, but all the signs do point to a return from Adebike. I would just want that guy to be healthy. Don't put your life on the line for this game as much as you want to. But if you can come back and be healthy and not risk further injury or worsening the injury or worsening your quality of life, let's get it done, baby. Let's get it done. Okay, what other questions do we have here? What do you think about the Marlowe? Do we start looking at new guys? Or do you think TJ Tampa is going to be able to roll over and help? I would like for TJ Tampa to be that guy. Now, with this pass rush, that definitely gives him help to not have to cover a guy for 7 seconds. But you got to think that the Ravens want another stout veteran opposite Nate Wiggins, unless Jesse Minter and Anthony Weaver have done their research and are sure that TJ Tampa can take the next step up. There's plenty of quality corners, veterans out there, and plenty of quality corners in the draft. The Ravens did have 2 corners that didn't play this year due to injury that can also come in. So there's options. You'd love for the Ravens to make at least one push for a corner. It doesn't have to be a roll beater, but you want to keep Marlon Humphrey inside more so than outside. He is not comfortable against speedy receivers. You put him in position to prevent that from happening. Something that the Ravens didn't do a very good job of in 2025 or 24 for that matter. Okay, Sam, do you think we bring back Draymond? Nope, I think Draymond's gone. AD, who's AD? Let me try to think about who AD is. Sign Zeitler. Could sign Zeitler. Heather, let me know who AD is. I'm tired, so maybe I don't understand who AD is, but let me know. Lamar's tweet about Crosby or about money. I think it's about money and Crosby. If I had to guess, I'd say it's about the contract. That's just me. I haven't heard anything otherwise. Maybe I'll look on. Maybe I'll find out later if that's the case. I've been trying to find out what that tweet was about. Ravens ain't telling me nothing. So we'll see. Lamar's first tweet was about his contract. The second with Denzel was about Maxx Crosby. Okay. There you go. Ardarius. I think Ardarius. So you meant AD, Ardarius. Okay, gotcha. Ardarius could come back. I think he comes back, but I think he could also be a sought-after guy. He's a little shorter than a prototypical safety, so that might scare some teams off and help the Ravens bring him back. But he deserves a shot to make his money. I don't want anybody to shortchange Ardarius. Get as much money as you can out there. He's a dog. He came back from that injury. He didn't have to come back. He could have said, you know what? I'm injured. I'll try again next year. But he wanted to come back and help this team out, and he did his best. So hopefully he's back with the Ravens, but he definitely deserves to go out there and get that money. Beeks posted a workout of him even bending his neck. Yes, I saw that. I'm not sure what the injury is. I'm not, again, his injury, from what I've gathered, and again, don't know too much. Don't want to sound like I know too much, but I feel like, remember, he wasn't even on the injury report. He talked to reporters like nothing happened. I think there was something that he felt after a couple of days that felt, maybe I should get this checked out, where then it led to some further testing and things of that nature. So I know a lot of Ravens fans think that this guy's supposed to be on a neck cast for the next 12 months, but I think it might be a thing where the risk of worsening the injury or re-injuring himself is higher than maybe doctors will like. That's my thought process on it. Again, I don't know. He's been looking pretty good for a long period of time. When we seen him in the facility during the season after the injury, he didn't look like he was laboring his neck or anything like that. So I'm not sure if that workout is indicative of the situation, but it is a great sign. I will say that. It is a great sign to see him out there. And the boy looks good. He looks ready to go. So praying for the guy, all the best. Hope he comes out there and does his thing. Make sure you guys hit the like button, like, subscribe. We're going to head out of here. I know it's late. It's about 11 o'clock. I know you guys are tired. Likely, G-Bev says on Instagram, Likely's gone. Likely's been gone since the Ravens put pen to paper on the Mark Andrews contract. Isaiah Likely wants to be the main guy. He doesn't want to be tight end 2. He's tired of getting 300, 400 yards receiving a year because he's second fiddle to a top guy like Mark Andrews. He ain't coming back. And the Ravens tried their best to sign him before signing Mark Andrews. There was no push, no dice on the contract getting pushed. So the Ravens pivoted to Mark Andrews. They knew that, he just had a down year. If he built it up back up during the season and had a big time last 6 games, his price goes up and he's out of there. They were able to get him at a decent price. It's essentially a 1-year deal anyway. But, as far as Isaiah Likely, he's gone. I hope Ravens fans are cool with that because he ain't coming back. Don't know where he goes. There's a chance he comes back if the market isn't as great as people think. But if he's looking for 13, 14 million out there after only having 300 yards receiving, yeesh. It's going to be a GM that really, or an offense coordinator that really wants that guy and knows what he can do. I think that he's going to be a great tight end out there, but his numbers don't dictate the type of contract he was looking for. So I'm excited to see Cam now that Crosby is here. I think we're going to play him all over and do so many stunts. Yes, I agree. It took EDC 8 years to make it happen. It did, but let's hope he goes to the NFC. I'm thinking that he goes to either the Chiefs or the Bengals. That's where I would go if I was him. Actually, I don't know if I'd go to the Bengals. I mean, you're sharing, passing with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but if the Bengals got them funds, then go ahead and get them. Ravens can pick another tight end in the 4th round. Yeah, and this draft is full of tight ends. And if there's one position that I'm sure the Ravens can hit on, it's tight end. I'm not worried about that in the slightest, not even a little bit. Is it possible that it's quiet on Lamar partly to discuss how much flexibility they would truly have to get Crosby for other teams like the Cowboys and then announce the Lamar extension? That's interesting. I like that thought. I don't think so, but that's an interesting thought. I like that. We'll see if the Ravens announce the extension tomorrow. Then we know that you probably were onto something there. That's a good thought to have. That's some conspiracy thought right there. Like maybe if he did this and now he's already known for like a week, he's been working on the trade, and that's a good thought. That's a good one. I had to look into that. That's a good one. We'll see. What should we cover about online since first round is gone? I don't know. I mean, again, there's lots of interior offensive linemen. I've been really focused on the first round of this draft as far as looking to see who the Ravens could get. Now that I know that first round's out the picture, at least the top 15, I need to do some better digging on these other guys, these second day guys that could be available for the Ravens. Burrow is genuinely effed. He has to go against Watt, Garrett, and now Max. Yeah. Do you think we resign Ricard? I think there's a chance. I think there's a decent shot that Pat Ricard comes back, if I had to guess. He could go to New York. Him and Cam Scatterbo sounds like a match made in heaven. But there's at least a shot he returns to the Ravens. Where do you think Hendrickson goes? I think he goes to Tampa. I've been hearing Tampa with him. So I think he goes to Tampa. We'll see. 2 first-round picks. This feels like a steal. What do you think? I think it's perfect. I think both sides won this. The Raiders got the first pick in the draft and the 14th pick in the draft. That's huge. They could use that 14th pick and possibly get a guy like Tyson or Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate. Probably not Carnell Tate. I think Carnell Tate should be in the top 5. But if not, I mean, the Raiders are set with their first 2 picks. Very similar to the Ravens with Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. Well, I guess in this case, it would be Hayden Hurst and Lamar Jackson. But dope. We have a competent coach. The whole division is in trouble now. Oh, yeah. I like it. The North now has the best DNs for sure. Any free agents you think we should target? I think the Ravens should go after. I don't know. I like Brian Thomas Jr. I like BTJ a lot. I like him a lot. I'm looking into that. But I like him a lot. Let's see. I called it on your video earlier. You did. I remember that. Good job. AFC North definitely in trouble. Perfect steal. Any chance you can shout out my girl, Kiara? Kiara, what's up? Thank you so much, your boy, for coming on to the show. Shout outs to you, Kiara. Get it done, Sam. I'll try my best. BTJ supposed to be released? No, but he is being sought after. I think they're going to try and trade him. They got Travis Hunter. They feel really good about him. I think BTJ is going to go. I got you, dog. I got you. We need another vet with Roquan in the middle. No, I think they really like Teddy Buchanan. I mean, they really like Teddy Buchanan. She's happy. That's what's up. I'm glad I can help you. Buddy. We really like Teller from the Browns. Could be. Teller, that would be good. Good replacement at guard. Yep. I like all of these. These are all good choices. Simpson back. I think Trenton Simpson is still under contract with us. I'm not sure if he's a free agent. If he is, yeah, he has one more year left on his deal. He's going to earn about $1.4 million. This is a big year for him. And he probably really happy about this as well. He's the guy that's going to be able to set the edge for the Ravens. His absence really, really hurt the Ravens and guys like Cavanoy and even Mike Green, who had to do a lot more than they thought. They signed in Hollywood? Maybe. We saw our work with the Seahawks, a lot of slot guys on the team, and they made it happen with JSN and others. So could be a huge year for Simpson. Yeah, this is a big year. And I said the same thing about Odafe Owe. Odafe Owe should be on his knees thanking EDC for trading him because he goes to the Chargers and shows what he can do. And now he's going to be getting, I think he's going to get about $25 million a year. I think that's what his market is looking like right now. So kudos to him. But yeah, big day. I mean, this is the biggest transaction in franchise history that isn't draft related. Meaning that, of course, drafting Ray Lewis, drafting Ed Reed, drafting Lamar Jackson, drafting Jonathan Ogden, those are all huge moments in Ravens history. But besides that draft day, this is the biggest transaction of all time for the Ravens. Trading 2 first rounders for Maxx Crosby is huge. What about Shaheed? No, he's going to get paid. I think he's going to the Raiders, honestly. But yeah, this is I've been talking for about an hour now. Still speechless. Still can't believe he did it. Again, I was thinking first and the third. Still speechless. 2 first. Sam, if that Lamar contract happens, you're going to have to fire out the stream. Oh, yeah. If I don't fire the stream, we will be live on the Locked On Ravens Squad show with Kevin and Q, myself talking all things Ravens football. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to say about this Maxx Crosby deal. Can't wait to hear Q's thoughts on it, as well as my boy Kevin's thoughts. But yeah, it's going to be a time. So make sure you guys tune in 7:30 p.m. We're going to be locked and loaded for that show. That might go over the hour, but yeah, it's going to be crazy time for free agency. Can we keep this team together once contracts start running? I think we can. Derrick Henry's going to be back. It's going to be all good. Should we get Debo? No. I don't think Debo's the answer. I know the Ravens want a big receiver, but D-Hop is just as good. Tell me the difference between D-Hop and Debo. D-Hop, my big gripe on D-Hop coming into this last season was that he wouldn't be able to run block effectively. He was a decent run blocker this year. He was really good. He wasn't afraid to go in there and make it happen. So I think D-Hop would be perfect here if they can't get something going with these other guys. But yeah, who from the Seahawks should we get? Mike McDonald? That'd be great. That'd be funny. No, I'm just messing with you. I don't know. D-Hop makes some wild catches. Yeah. I mean, that's the guy that the Ravens wanted, right? But for whatever reason, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to let that 2025 season be the 2025 season. People are saying Tyler Loop, Hall of Famer for the missed kick, because none of this would have happened without that. It's just great to not have people making excuses anymore in that facility. Time for action. None of this BS anymore. You want to win a championship, you go out there and get it. Stack said we prayed for Crosby. We did. Who do you think we should resign? Tyler, if he finds with something on it. Oh, yeah. If the Ravens could get Tyler Linderbaum from under $20 million, yeah, you get him. But it's not happening. Who knew that night would turn into this new era? I mean, that missed kick was, one, to lose to your division rival like that, lose a chance in the postseason. I mean, it sucks. It sucked. But from there to now, whoa. What? Sheesh. We were sick. As long as Falele can go, Falele, there is no way. Even if the Ravens offered him money, I think Falele turns it down. I don't think he wants anything to do with this fan base. He needs a fresh start. Go out there. He might say, hey, I don't want to play guard anymore. Make me a right tackle. Whatever experiment John Harbaugh had for me, I want to go out there and I want to maul people without worrying about both my left and my right on a consistent basis. I don't know. But yeah, Falele is gone. No doubt. We are all the way back, Z. We are definitely all the way back. Luke will mature this season, I think, for sure. Can't wait to get him back. But yeah, we're looking good. Hopefully he goes to the Steelers. Yeah, hopefully, Z. Hopefully. That is going to do it for us here at Ravens Talk. Enjoyed the live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout outs to my people on Instagram as well. Sorry we couldn't put your comments on the screen. For whatever reason, StreamYard continues to be behind the times with that, but we will get that together. But we will talk about you guys later. Hopefully Lamar Jackson news comes out tomorrow so we can have another live stream. If not, we'll be back on Monday. Locked On Ravens Squad show with Kevin and Q. Thanks you guys so much. Appreciate you, Z. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, Maxx Crosby, 2 first-round picks, and the Ravens are not done. I'm telling you, stay tuned. Monday, the Ravens will be going back to work sooner rather than later to get this team back to championship form. Good night. Happy Maxx Crosby Day, and go Ravens.